The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, Turning Point, featuring weekly tips and life lessons on self-empowerment and discovering the best you. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
You have now entered the Turning Point, providing in-depth discussions on healing, inspiration, and empowering you to walk into your true life's purpose. Welcome to Turning Point with your hosts, Phoenix White and Spicy Madi.
Welcome back to the Turning Point here on Black Hollywood Live. I am your host, Spicy Madi, joined here with the beautiful co-host, Phoenix White.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
And today we have a fabulous episode because we are going to be diving deep inside of taking back your power.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes we give it away. This is something that we relinquish very easily, sometimes to undeserving people.
Exactly.
And so today we're going to go through the steps to taking back your power, how to recognize when you've done this, and also, you know, our favorite spirit check challenge, and maybe
have
a little
our quotes.
we always have a great
giveaway
quote for you guys and a great giveaway. Yeah.
So let's just jump right into it. So a lot of times I think people don't realize that they're actually giving away their power, like you said, to other people. We're doing things that we don't really want to do. We are in relationships. We are invested in things that are not good for us anymore. Like sometimes I say, you know, someone could be a good person, but they're just not good for you. That could be an example of giving away your power by staying in things that you aren't necessarily supposed to still be in. What would be another example that you would say?
You know, I always have to reference my personal experiences.
Yes.
And oftentimes I get into relationships with people who are undeserving. I start to think about their potential and envision a future with people that may not necessarily be the best for me. And oftentimes when you get wrapped up or emotionally invested in someone that's not deserving of it, they take some of your power away. And now you're emotionally attached to someone who, you know, is evoking emotions from you nonstop.
Well, actually, are people taking your power away, or are you giving your power away? Because sometimes we feel like people are taking things from us that we're actually giving away because
Correct.
we have the power to say no.
Absolutely.
We just don't choose to make that choice. So I think that can be something that people need to pay more attention to.
Guilty.
You're so
Number 100.
We're
okay.
all guilty
of I give my power away. And you know, one thing that is very hard is how to recognize when you're doing this. You know, sometimes when it's too late, you've already done this, and now you have to kind of pull the reins.
Absolutely.
I vent to my mom all the time. Okay, but now that I'm a hot mess, what do I do? And she's like, you got to pull the reins. You got to take
pull
the
it back
power
a little
back.
bit.
But how do you do that?
Well, we wrote down some examples of examples of giving away your power first, and then we'll go into telling you guys how to get it back. So one of the top examples is talking way too much. You say too much, you tell too much, you're just doing way too much, and you need to scale it back. You know, take some time to just be quiet. You know, people give away too much of their power just by talking.
Well, I
too
think
much.
that sometimes the rambling or the talking too much comes from being nervous or sometimes being insecure or wanting to be liked. And so you talk out of being nervous, and you give too much information and give too much of yourself without actually learning who that person is that you're giving this information to. And that's how people get a piece of you or get in your business. And you start to wonder, you know, why things are said or rumors are spread about you, or there's a opinion about you that is not appropriate, and it's because you gave too much information to someone who didn't really know you.
Well, I have another theory on that, because I think it's okay to be honest, you know, and to say who you are and what you feel or what you think. But I agree, in some aspects, people just say way too much of the wrong stuff. Like just stuff that's not important or valid to getting to know somebody. But also, I have found that in talking too much, some people are using their representation of who they think people want them to be.
Absolutely.
And they start saying too much of what they think that people want to hear.
To please the other person.
Yeah, more so than just speaking your truth and just being who you are, which is more relaxing, and you're more comfortable when you can just be like, this is just what it is, instead of rambling on trying to run down your resume, who you know, what you've done, like just it's sometimes it's too much.
And then you're held accountable too if those expectations now are not met, because you said you were this type of person and that you do this for the opposite person, and come to find out that's very hard to live up to.
Now, on the flip side of that, another way of giving away your power would be not speaking up for yourself. So you have talking too much
and then not talking
and then
enough.
Not speaking up for yourself when you need to stand up for you. I think a lot of people, they spend a lot of time just letting people run over them, letting people put labels on you, saying you're a this or you're a that, you do too much of this is who you are. And we accept those labels from those people instead of saying, no, that is not who I am. That is not who I'm going to be. And not accepting people to say certain things out of that just being how they are.
Oh, absolutely. And
like, I think we had to talk about that the other day, because I'm one of those people where I've gone through people putting labels on me a lot. So I had to say, hey, don't call me this. I know it's harmless and this is how you talk, and I'm not offended, but I don't want any labels on me.
But you had to be assertive about it.
Exactly.
And it works the same way, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business setting or a partnership. If you don't speak up, sometimes things are left, lacking because you didn't vocalize your opinion. And so if there's a need for something, you don't know what value that can bring by you expressing it. Exactly. And so whether it be, if you have a business project that's due the next day, and your opinion could be extremely valuable and possibly be the turning point for that project. But if you don't speak up and your opinion goes unsaid, then you won't, obviously be able to complete it or it be to the best of its ability.
That's true. The next one would be saying yes when you want to say no.
Ooh, guilty.
We all do that. Yes. I know I'm guilty of doing that when it comes to loaning people money.
It can be financial.
I had to start saying no and just being okay. Like, there's no reason, there's no explanation. I just don't want to. I'm sorry. Just no.
So I might be one of those people that say no a lot when it comes to loaning money, but
that's my guilty thing. Like, people will make me feel bad about it.
But one thing I will do is give time. If there's somewhere that I don't want to go, or someone that I don't want to be with, or a responsibility that I don't really feel like doing, that's my weakness. It's like, well, I care about this person. I want them to feel like I love them, or that, I want to share in this. So let me do this. And it's taking from me and my personal time and me giving of myself.
But it's being okay with saying no.
Sorry,
you don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to come up with an excuse or a reason or an example or anything. Just say no and be like, that's just what it is. That's how I feel. Another thing is disrespecting your body. Ooh. So, a lot of people do this.
Talking about sex.
Now, it's not just sex, though. Like, when I know that was your example.
Of course, I think
but
that.
I think a lot of people disrespect their body with the things they put in it. It could be food. It can be overeating. It could be not treating yourself like a temple, like not really caring enough about you and what's going into your mouth and into your body. So that's another one that I think is disrespecting.
And see, I appreciate that you thought health-wise, because I obviously was thinking sex.
That's a big one, though. But that's the main one.
Because oftentimes we will compromise our morals or values or what we want in that moment, or what we know is best for ourselves, in order to please a partner or to please somebody else, so that you can be liked. And once again, that's approval seeking. Yes. And so that's another way that you can give away your power to someone.
The next one is letting others take advantage of you. Sometimes we allow people to do it because we don't want to fight and we don't want to argue. We don't want to ruffle the feathers, and we will let other people take advantage of us knowingly, and we're sitting back pissed.
Well, you want to avoid conflict, and some people aren't great with conflict resolution. So rather than jump into it and speak up about it, once again, they're practicing that silence, and they start to get resentful because they're being treated a certain way and being taken advantage of. And then all of a sudden comes a crazy burst of anger and fury that is unleashed. And, now you have people suffering from your wrath.
From the major wrath, right? The next one would be getting angry over things you can't control, like traffic.
So sometimes things are going to happen that's beyond your control. It's not within your power, whether it's traffic, whether it's spilled milk, that's where the saying "don't cry over spilled milk" is concerned.
Running late.
Yeah, running late. There's certain things that are just out of your control. And if you don't remember or put things in perspective in that moment, that you can only focus on the now and control what is happening and move from there, it can ruin your entire day and your mood and energy. And who knows who you can affect from then on.
Well, I always feel like you are responsible for the energy that you put off on other people.
Absolutely.
So I have seen people start off with a bad day. They go off on somebody else who's just clearly rolling into a parking lot or behind them. They're just having a great day. Now they've affected their day. So now they're having a bad day and they go to work with that bad attitude. And it's just a downward spiral and everybody gets that wrath from you. So it's like, start off with being responsible every day for the energy that you bring into the room or that you put off on other people. And I think that will help with that.
Help eliminate some of that, giving your power away.
Staying in toxic relationships. Staying in toxic relationships. I'm tongue-tied.
Sometimes we get into relationships with people, whether it's even friendships, you have a void that you're trying to fill. And sometimes whether it be friendships or with family members that we know we should not be in constant communication with, that are making withdrawals and not enough deposits. And especially in love relationships or intimate relationships, we get involved and we start to recognize, we shouldn't be there. We shouldn't be in this place with them. But then all of a sudden we're reeled in and now we've relinquished our power.
Yeah, but a lot of times people become okay with being in dysfunctional situations.
Oh, yeah.
Or they make dysfunctional relationships functional for them. So when things are normal, they can't handle it. Like it has to be toxic or it has to be,
they become dependent,
dysfunctional, because that's their version of them showing that they're loved.
Yeah, I always say a bad relationship is like crack. It's like
you start
needing it, you start getting used to it, and then you go through withdrawals to release it,
because you think that a person, well, not us, but there are some times that people go into different situations where they think a person loves them more if they're fighting with them, if they're arguing with them, if they're putting the effort of being crazy or psycho or whatever it is that they're going through. So let's go through the versions of how you can get your power back.
Right, because that's what we really want to know. How do you get the power back? Because we're all guilty of giving it away. Now, how do you bring it back?
So a top way of getting your power back is learning to control your anger and the things that you say out of your mouth. Same thing, you're responsible for the energy that you put off on other people. You're also responsible for the things that you say out of your mouth, because a lot of times people don't realize that when you say negative things, those are negative prayers going up on behalf of those people. So you speak positive things, those are like positive prayers, but you can also send negative prayers. And so think about it that way.
Yeah. Also think about what you're saying before you say it. I'm guilty. I talk out of my mouth or neck sometimes and don't realize the repercussions that it's going to have or the effect that it's going to have on who I'm delivering it to. And so I've started getting into the habit of thinking first before I speak. Yes. And if this is not going to edify the person that I'm delivering it to, maybe I don't need to say it.
Definitely. Another way is to start being more open and honest. Effective communication is a very good way at getting your power back. Learn to just stand up and have a graceful, calm, grown-up conversation without being so overly emotional. I think a lot of times when we have these over emotional conversations, no one is actually heard.
Yeah.
So if you just be a grown-up and just sit there and be like, hey, let's have a conversation, be honest about what you think, what you feel, be open enough to be vulnerable, or have the courage to be vulnerable.
And a tip for a lot of women, because we are emotional creatures. When you want to have open dialogue and you realize that your emotions are getting the best of you, take a minute, take a breather, and when you address the person that you want to speak with, ask if you can just have a rational conversation and analyze the situation. I think that oftentimes we get lost up in what we're feeling and not so much in the facts, that we start to lose ourselves.
And just stick to the facts. Stick to the subject at hand instead of going and flying off onto all of the other things that have happened or have gone on in the past. Stick to that specific
2 years ago, you did X, Y, and
stick
Z.
to that specific subject and that specific issue. Deal with that problem, that issue, and then move on to the next thing instead of bringing in everything else that has bruised your ego or has caused you to be a little emotional.
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you want to go on to our quote, or do you want to add some more?
No, let's do the quote.
All right.
Because we always have a great quote that inspires.
This quote was awesome that you found, actually. I loved it.
Yes, please read.
It's life is like a camera. Focus on what's important. Develop from the negatives. And if things don't work out, take another shot. That was
Right.
That was great.
And that is something that
Great.
we need to practice. We need to make sure that we are, constantly developing. And I think that oftentimes we lose perspective and we start to get down on ourselves, or we start to punish ourselves, which in turn we punish other people from that. But if you really just keep a positive attitude,
Just focus on what's important.
yes, good energy,
Yes.
good energy.
No. So focus on what's important. Develop from the negatives. Everything that happens in your life, and I've said this before, happens for a reason. It's there to help you to develop. It's there to help you elevate and grow. So look at everything as a lesson, because it is. So if you continue to do that, then you'll be moving in the right direction. And then if things don't work out, try again. Take another shot.
Absolutely.
Like sometimes we might blow up. We might miss the mark. We might not do exactly what it is we're trying to do. We might not be as calm as we'd like to be. We might go off into the deep end, be a little over emotional.
Failure though.
No, but I'm saying if that happens, okay, reel it back in and say, hey, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try to have the calm conversation. I'm going to try to control my emotions a little bit more. Don't beat yourself over the fact that you haven't been able to get there yet, or either you just had a little fumble, as we call it.
Or give yourself 10 minutes to really think about what
Yes.
happened and evaluate the situation. Do some breathing exercises or something.
Yes. So I think that's all we have for today, and I know we need to wrap it up. Miss Spicy Mari, is there
Do we
anything
have
you
a
want to
spirit
add?
check challenge?
You know what? I was thinking of a spirit check challenge, and I think we should do a gratitude jar.
I love that. And you guys know that every episode we do a spirit check challenge where we want to challenge you
Yes.
spiritually to do something outside of the box that will help you just grow and develop as a person.
Yes.
And so, Phoenix, explain the gratitude jar.
Okay, so I have this huge gratitude jar that's in my house, and it's something every day I write down something that I'm grateful for, no matter how I feel. It could be I'm grateful that my family is still alive. It could be I'm grateful for my new job. I'm grateful for having food on my table. It can be the smallest of things. So it's basically you want to fill up this jar full of things that you're grateful for. Then at the end of the
Write it down
year,
on a piece of paper. And
you write it
toss
on a
in
piece
there.
of paper and you fold it up, toss it in there. And then at the end of the year, you read back over everything you're grateful for. So it's basically another version of counting your blessings.
Oh, I love
and
it.
you continue to put that positive energy into the atmosphere so you can continue to receive more positive things. So same thing, the energy you put off is what you get back. So the vibration that you send out is what you'll continue to receive. So you send out gratefulness for the things that you have. You'll be able to receive more things that you want. So if you're not grateful for what you already have, you won't get anything else to be grateful for.
I think I'm going to do that and write in there, I'm grateful for my co-host, Phoenix.
I have you in mind, actually.
Oh, I made the gratitude jar.
You made it.
But this will help you along your
Yeah.
process of getting closer to your turning point. And so that's something that you want to make sure that you practice. And if you guys have learned anything today, please Instagram us at Turning Point Show and let us know what spirit check reached out, or what spirit check you were affected by during this episode. I am your host, Spicy Madi, and you can follow me on Instagram at spicy_Madi, or you can play with my Twitter at spicy_Madi.
I love that. And I'm your other co-host, Miss Phoenix White, and you can follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/Phoenix White.
And you have reached your turning point.
Bye, guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Black Hollywood Redefined. Oops.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
Thanks for watching Black Hollywood Live on YouTube. For more in-depth interviews and news, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion in the comment section below here. See you soon, everyone. Bye.